Okay, everybody. So this week I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to do a few different mini tutorials. So this week we're going to have 3 or 4 different videos, but they'll be shorter in duration. So for this first video, we're going to tackle dynamic uh, curves, so for making wires and string and that kind of stuff. So I have a little demo scene set up here, and first thing we have to do is create some curves. So we'll go to curves and surfaces, our uh, shelves here, and I'm going to click this EP curve tool. And while I do this, I'm going to hold down the V key, and that's going to snap to verts. So hold down the V key, and I'm going to click, 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 and there we've got a curve. Don't worry about how this is going up and down because these are gonna be dynamic curves. So the first thing you want to do, this is a common mistake a lot of people make, is when you grab your curve and you go to your control verts, you're gonna see that this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different control verts, and this won't simulate correctly at all. So what we're gonna do, grab our curve, go to curves, and we're gonna go to this drop down called rebuild and open up the options box. And just leave all this stuff to default, but the thing we need to change here is number of spans. And I'm just going to guesstimate here. We'll just say around 60, and give that a shot. Click rebuild. And now when we look at our control verts, you can see we've got all these nice points here, which are awesome. So now we're going to need to simulate this. And let's just make sure our curve is above. Probably going to want to take this curve and move it up a little bit and over so we can hit these bars for collisions. And there's a few different ways we can do this, so let's try this and see what we come up with. So I'm going to grab these bars here. This could be any geometry that you want your curves to collide with. And under our effects drop down, we're going to go to cloth, create passive collider. And that'll create our collision object. Next, we're going to go to our curve, and under in here, we are going to select make selected curves dynamic, and we're going to click that. So what that did is create a dynamic systems for us. So let's rewind here, hit play, and see what we get. Bingo. So now we have this nice, beautiful, natural looking curve in between our objects, which would be pretty hard to do just manually. So next thing I'll do here is I'm going to freeze this off. So I'm going to freeze transformations in history, and just to make sure, I'm going to duplicate this curve. And the next thing I'm going to do is hide unselected. So you can go up here and go to display, hide unselected objects. So now we have our curve here. And we want to check to just make sure, let's unparent it as well. And let's delete all of our other stuff out of here. So now all we have is our curve. And we'll do a show all so we can see our stuff here again. Hide these image planes. Alright, so next thing we need is a circle. Under your curves and surface, just a circle, just the defaults will do. Since this is a telephone wire, it's background here. So since the telephone wire, we probably want this to be pretty small. So we'll shrink this guy down. We'll freeze transformations on it again on this one. We'll grab our curve, our circle, grab our curve, and then we're gonna go to back to our modeling shelf, and we'll go to surfaces, extrude. So that's going to give us some weird results, but we're going to fix that. Over here under your extrude history, tube is fine. This closest endpoint to path, we want to change that to component, and then click fix path. There we go. Nice, beautiful telephone pole. That still seems a little bit thick. So this has construction history, so we can just kind of scale this as we want. So it's nice and thin. It's probably also a good idea to just go ahead and hide our curve so we see our geo. There we go. That easy. And if you wanted to, you can then move this to the center where it would be naturally and move it back down. There you go. You have a nice telephone wire. And this works great for all types of curves. There is a script out there that will also allow you to do this kind of thing with multiple curves, and I'll go over that in the MEL scripting section. Yeah, so let's see here. Let's turn on our ground, and here we go. So just to recap, curves under in hair, it's make selected curves dynamic. If you want to get fancy, you can use all of the fields, so air and gravity. You can use all this stuff with the dynamic curves to get different looks. You can edit the curve to make it droop more. If you want a different look, I mean, sky's the limit. So there you go. That is dynamic curves for modeling. I will post another video tomorrow, and I think tomorrow I'm going to cover how to make a wood plank out of some existing assets, because I think a lot of you have wood planks in your scenes. So I will show you how to kit bash a wood plank together really fast. Alright, that's it, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Please post any questions, or if you have any issues with this video being private or something, just hit me up on Facebook and I'll solve that problem. Thanks, and see you tomorrow.